I think what we're seeing is an amazing quality in the applications, and some of this might be just that the economy's been getting better, maybe some projects that were kind of on the shelf are coming out. There's more capital available to be doing projects, in all sectors of multifamily right now. So I think we're seeing some of that, and just in terms of the quality and quantity of nominations this particular go-around. One of the things I think is really interesting is while we have a number of different categories, and there's been nominations in a wide variety of categories in multifamily, what's amazing is just how close the designs are getting to each other. In other words, when you look at an affordable deal versus market rate versus a student housing deal, it's getting harder, I think, to tell that there's much difference between these projects. There's amazing creativity going on in making these projects, look just like regular market rate type multifamily. So I found that pretty interesting, that the affordable deals certainly were not inferior to some of the market rate entries that we saw. I mean, the market rate entries obviously, often have a lot more money spent on common areas and amenities and things like that, but the affordable deals definitely have very good presence. I think if you visited those deals and weren't told that it was affordable, you would have no idea until you started looking at the rental terms and things like that, which I think is good, and I think that's really been a big objective of the affordable sector, is trying not to be too different, from just the mainstream market. The other thing I think that, you read a lot in some of the trade publications that, home ownership is going down in the country, and maybe rental properties are more of an option and a consideration among a lot more Americans that are out in the housing market today. And as a result, I think it seems like the developers and the designers of these projects are kind of responding to that. No longer is living in a rental property a second-class option. It's equal or maybe even better than your family housing choice. So I think we're seeing a lot more variety, a lot more just choice out there in the marketplace, which I think is a good thing. So the market really is maturing. As I said, you just don't see you just don't feel the negative aspect. Years ago, maybe a rental housing project being built in the neighborhood, maybe the surrounding property owners would look at that as a negative. But I think a lot of homeowners, when they would see the quality of these projects being built in their neighborhood, they would really feel pretty good about the quality of housing that's being put in there. So that seems to be a trend right now. We're seeing, of course, different color fashions come and go as far as, but that's normal. That's really a kind of an interior design, and there's always trends in color, and a color will start to get out of fashion, and then there'll be newer colors that come in. The quality of materials, I think we're seeing that the selections, we're seeing a lot of creativity where maybe there's they might not be choosing the most expensive material, but they're getting the same look as if they had chosen that material. So it's kind of like almost like a faux type finish that still gives you kind of the same impression. So I've been really impressed with the quality of submissions. It certainly makes selecting those that stand out from the top harder. But we saw very, very few selections that we would say didn't have merit, didn't have some aspect that was of interest, and had some innovative choice that was made in the design. So that's really a good sign of a healthy marketplace out there in multifamily, and bodes very well for the future. If we can continue building projects like that, we're going to have some really great projects all over the country, both in large and small markets.